Hi Stampers! Today I wanted to show you how to make this easel card, and it's quite simple, and I'll just show you how to fold it. So let's get started. What's great about this is the fact that you can put this in a 5x5 envelope and mail it flat, and then when the recipient gets it, they can stand it up and set it on display. So it's a real pretty little card to make. So I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. What we've done is we started off with a piece of 8.5 by 4 1/4 inch crumb cake cardstock, sorry. I went ahead and scored it already. I've scored it at 2 1/8 inches and 4 1/4 inches. And how you're going to fold this is you're going to take the side that you did the 2 1/8 inches and you're going to fold it up. And then the one that's 4 1/4, you're going to fold it down. So you're going to have it look something like this. And this is actually where another piece of cardstock is going to go on, and that's going to be the easel part. I've already taken a piece of another crumb cake piece of paper, and this is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inches wide. And I've already run this through the Big Shot using the square lattice embossing folder, so to save a little time there. I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And using the stamp set A Slice of Life, which is in the new Mini Occasions catalog, this is one of the Level 1 Hostess gifts. We're going to go ahead and stamp the little vase with the flowers. And it's real pretty. You can make this any color you want. I just love this stamp set. I'm using Stays On Black ink to go ahead and put my image on the white cardstock. Ink that up real good. We'll go ahead and set that in the center there. And then we'll go ahead and color this in. I love to use the Stays On because to me it just gives a more vivid image, plus the fact that it also does not smear as easily when you're using the blending pens. So we're going to go ahead and color this in. I'm going to use some Daffodil Delight, and I'm just kind of squishing the top of the lid to get my paint inside of the lid there. Use a blender pen. And we're going to go ahead, and I've just colored in the little flowers in yellow, and then there's little buds on this particular picture. The stamp set has not a lot of detail, but just enough to give it little pops of color here and there. So I've gone ahead and used the Daffodil Delight for the actual flower, and then we're going to use the pumpkin pie for the buds. And I'll just kind of color this in quickly so that you get an idea of how I'm doing this. And then for the vase, we're going to go ahead and use the crumb cake and just give that a little bit more definition and shadowing. And we're almost done with the flowers. We'll go ahead and do the buds. And this is going to be in pumpkin pie, same exact way I've done it before, which is just putting a little paint in the lid. We'll clean off our brush, and we'll put a little bit of orange color in here, a little pumpkin pie. Again, this will just make this whole picture just pop, and it'll go with our accent color on the card. And again, you can make these any colors you want. I always like to take some colors from the cardstock and actually put it in the actual stamp. We'll go ahead and clean off the brush, and the last color we're going to use is the crumb cake. And this is going to be for the vase, and I'm going to go a little bit heavy on one side of the vase and do a little bit of shadowing here. And then we'll go ahead and color in the rest of the vase very, very lightly with the crumb cake. Okay. So that is basically the vase that we're going to be making on there. We'll set this aside for just 1 second. Then I've used a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock, and this is actually cut 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches. We're going to go ahead and adhere our stamped image to that with using a little bit of snail adhesive. And we'll just set that right in the center there. Okay, and as you can see how that picks up that pumpkin pie, just picks it up really nicely. I'm going to take our crumb cake that we've already embossed with the embossing folder, just kind of get an idea of where we're going to be placing this. And we're going to be using some dimensionals for this to kind of pop it up a little bit. So I'm using one on each corner. And we'll take off the backing paper. And we'll go ahead and adhere that. Right in the center there. Now the next little part we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of the crumb cake. This is the seam binding. And again, this is something new that's in the special Little Mini Occasions catalog. And I hope they keep these. They're absolutely wonderful to work with. And I saw this little trick from Dawn Griffith. She's another fantastic stamper. And I'd love to show you how she did this. Basically, you take the end and you just fray it a little bit. Then you're going to try to find the center of this. And you're actually looking for the center of the thread. And what you're going to do is you're going to start pulling this up to get this ruffled kind of look. And just keep pulling it. This is, like I said, about 15 inches long, this crumb cake. We're only going to go about halfway because we just want the ruffles on the front of the card. So just kind of keep pulling it and getting it until you either have a nice and tight ruffle or a loose ruffle. Whatever depends on your tastes. And we'll just check it and see if that's long enough. Yep, I think that'll be plenty. And you can see how fast and easy that goes. Now we're going to go ahead and place this ends of the ribbon at the top of the card because that's actually what's going to be covered up. As you can see, that'll be covered. So we're going to go ahead and put the seams at the top. So I'm using a little bit of Scotch tape actually to hold this in place while I do that. And then we'll kind of cut off the excess threads here. So that way we don't have those hanging out. There we go. And then we'll just kind of get this centered on the front of the card. And as you can see, I've kind of got it off to the side there a little bit. And we'll go ahead and place this on the back. And again, we'll just meet right up in the corner of the card there. And I'm going to use a little bit of snail again, just to kind of hold the ribbon in place. Make sure you're nice and straight where you want it to be. And then you can go ahead and trim off the excess ribbon. There you go. So now we're just going to go ahead and place this on our card. And you're going to want to put the snail not on the back of this card that's been embossed. You want to put it on here because you want to make sure that you have it in the right place. If you put it on the other card, you may go a little bit too far over with the snail. You're going to put a lot of snail on in the corners of the card. Then you're going to just want to line this up on the edges. Make sure you've got it nice and lined up. Okay, and you're almost done with the card. And that's basically how that's going to look. Okay, then the only other thing I've done, and we like to always put something down here when you do easel cards, because eventually this card will probably go forward a little bit. So in order to stop it from doing that and giving it kind of a resting place, we're going to put a couple of brads here. And I'm using the little flower brads today. And how I've done that is I've just taken my mat pack, and I love this because it has the little grid on it, so you can actually see where you're placing these brads. These are pretty wide brads, so I usually go like 2 spaces over on the medium-sized circle. So we're going to do a brad here, and we're going to do a brad here, and then we're going to do a brad here. But it's nice because it spaces them out evenly for you, so you don't have to try to measure and figure all that out. Alrighty, and we'll just open up the back of the brads, and your card will be ready to go. So this is a very, like I said, quick and easy card to make. You can make it with 1 piece of cardstock and a couple scrap pieces, and you can make them any colors you wish. And there you go. You have a beautiful little easel card ready to send in a 5x5 envelope. Have a great day, Stampers. Bye-bye.